Hi, everybody. I'm Mason, and I want to talk to you today about Greg and I's internship with the Parklands Foundation. The mission of the Parklands Foundation is to preserve, protect, ecologically restore, and manage historic natural lands in the Middle and Upper Mackinac Valley watershed. These lands are dedicated primarily for preserving the biological diversity of native plants and wildlife, and secondarily for passive public recreation, environmental educational, and scientific research. Parklands Foundation is a private, nonprofit conservation land trust, which is the fourth oldest conservation land trust in Illinois. They currently own 21 preserves and hold 5 conservation easements, including half the protected acreage in Woodford County and half in McLean County. The organization is led by a board of directors, including a full-time land steward, former and current faculty at local universities, researchers from the Nature Conservancy and IDNR, as well as accountants, lawyers, and various other experts who have a passion for protecting local lands. The environmental science major requires that students who want to pursue the degree must fulfill an EVS 495 internship credit. So our advisor, Dr. Katie Everett, helped us out by sending us a lot of internship opportunities via email. My inbox was filling up and it was difficult to choose exactly which internship that I wanted to pursue. But as soon as we read the email about the Parklands internship, we instantly decided to apply, especially since they needed 2 interns for the job. So at this point, we had to go to their website and figure out what we had to do to apply. And first, we had to send them our resume. But before this, I hadn't made a resume before, so I needed some help in doing so. And we contacted Kelly Bay, who works in our career development office, and she helped us make it. She was really great, and she actually helped us a ton. And once everything checked out, we sent the resume and waited for a response. A couple weeks later, we received an email from Parklands, and they wanted to interview us. And this was done through Skype because of the coronavirus outbreak. A couple weeks after that, we received a call from Douglas Kaufman Dixon, who was the president of Parklands, telling us that we were hired for the internship and that our first day was set for June 1st. First, we learned about invasive plant removal, and we were taught the different techniques on how to apply herbicide to different invasive species like honeysuckle, autumn olive, teasel, and Canada thistle. And we were also taught which herbicides target the different species in the Illinois prairies. Most of the time, we used crossbow and applied it with a spray gun, and that was connected to a 50-gallon tank that we had in the back of the Gator that we drove around all day. Another task we were given was trail maintenance. We had to clear obstructions off the trail, whether it be a fallen over tree or branches that were just too close to the trail. And at the beginning of the summer, we also had to mow the trails to keep the grass low enough to walk on. We spent a lot of time at Sweeney, and mostly we were thinning out the silver maples. So Sweeney is a floodplain for the Mackinac River, and when it floods, it brings in a lot of silver maple seeds that are floating downstream. So our goal was to cut some of them down and eventually make a pathway for visitors to walk on. But we didn't get very far with this because there were just so many trees that we couldn't even make that big of a dent. So here's some of the preserves that we worked on, and Merwin was our HQ. That's what had the shed. And right next to that was a township building where we could eat lunch. But in the shed, we had all our tools. We stored the Gator. We stored the tractor that had the mower attachment on it. And we even made things in there like picnic tables and whatnot. The next preserve, Sweeney, that's with all the silver maples. The Moon Tract had a lot of autumn olive that we had to spray. Ridgetop, we did mostly backpack spraying. And we were spraying sweet clover, yellow sweet clover. Letcher Basin, which was my favorite, there was a lot of teasel that we had to spray. It would just pop up like a weed. Kenyon Baller Woods, this is where there was a big old patch of Canada thistle, and mostly Canada thistle along the pathways too. Weston Cemetery, this is an interesting one because this is the last 0.01% of land in Illinois that is native land. Lexington, there wasn't anything too special about this, but they had autumn olive and honeysuckle there. And the Chinkapin Bluffs, I just remember this one because the praying mantises were so big that they were way bigger than your hand, and it was pretty crazy. The things that you would see out there are unlike anything I've ever seen before. Everything was literally so beautiful, and there was never a dull moment. Jason Shoemaker, who was our boss, had to go on paternity leave about halfway through the summer, and this allowed us to get experience working on our own and also figure out problems without having his help. Also, on the last day of the internship, Jason took us on a canoe and we floated down the Mackinac, enjoying the view and doing some fishing on the side where we actually got lucky quite a few times. On the second to last day, if you look at the first picture there, we actually crashed a gator when we were going through a field when we were spraying autumn olive. And we ran directly into a creek bottom that was running right through the middle of the field, and we had no idea it was there. We were also driving through 4-foot grass, so it was pretty hard to see. But we were also able to add valuable work experience to our resume and hold with us a summer that we will never forget. Also, a special thanks to Dr. Katie Everett, Jason Shoemaker, Douglas Kaufman Dixon, Craig Lutz, and the Parklands Foundation.